you decide to market your brand is how you show up in the world. Just Marketing is committed to making a difference through being and building ethical, anti-racist, and equitable businesses. If we haven't met yet, my name is Meg Brunson, my pronouns are she, her, and Just Marketing combines my mission to build a more accessible and inclusive world with my expertise in the digital marketing space. Let's do this. Hey there, this is episode number 17, and we are talking about amplifying diversity. So diversity brings strength. Diverse voices create growth, and diversity drives success. Before we talk about amplifying diverse voices, we need to acknowledge that not everyone's experiences are the same. We have to recognize that communities are not monolithic. And what I mean is that one Black voice does not necessarily speak for all Black people, and one queer voice does not necessarily speak for all queer people. In our attempts to raise the voices of diversity, we must be careful not to amplify those who will negatively impact our purpose. We have to be careful that that's not done unintentionally. So we need to get clear on who we actually want to amplify and to understand what diverse voices sound like. If we want to lift diversity, and in the process, we want to avoid using the wrong examples. Being clear on who is here to support us is necessary, and who is disguising their agenda as the voice of diversity. So, one example, it's like this. There is a very well-known trans woman who considers herself an LGBTQIA+ advocate. All right, I'm not going to mention her name because she is not a voice I actually want to amplify. But she is amplifying her voice whenever she can. Some of the things that she opposes are allowing trans girls to play girls' sports in high school, and she supported the overturning of Roe versus Wade. Many people in the LGBTQIA+ community do not agree with her on many issues, most issues, I would say. So despite the fact that I'm actively looking to amplify diverse voices, and that includes amplifying trans voices, hers is a voice that I would not amplify. Ultimately, her views are problematic, which is why I would choose not to amplify her voice. Furthermore, Republicans will take advantage of this. They will and are tokenizing her and her opinions. They use her and her voice as approval from the LGBTQIA+ community to support their agendas. So they'll take the fact that she, opposes trans girls playing girls' sports, or that she opposes Roe versus Wade, and they'll say, see, not all queer people. Like, here is one queer person who agrees with what we're doing. Clearly, though, that does not represent the voice of the people at large. So my point is that just because you amplify a voice of somebody who plays a part, that doesn't mean that their intentions are aligned with yours or that they're true. We need to make sure that all voices that we amplify align with supporting basic human rights, and we need to make sure that they are supportive and not a hindrance. So to really amplify the voices that will do the most good, we have to be clear on what matters or what issues matter the most to us and what issues we support. At its baseline, those should be human rights issues, right? We must continuously assess who we associate with based on their values. When their values aren't aligned with the needs of others, then they cause more harm than good. So for instance, during the 2016-2020 presidential era, many people let their true colors shine. Sadly, I had a guest who had appeared on the Familypreneur podcast. During that presidential era, she went off the deep end and was saying and spreading some really problematic views. So I removed her episode. I could no longer support her. I couldn't stand behind the voice of a problematic person and allow myself to amplify her message. Even though in that specific episode, she wasn't being problematic, my audience needs to know that I would not intentionally introduce them to harmful people. So if they listened to that episode, even though the episode itself wasn't problematic, and then they decided to get to know her more deeply, that would be a problem for me because she is not a safe person. So if I make this mistake at any point, I'm going to do my absolute best to fix it. We need to be clear on who we want to be around. I'm very clear about my values on social media, my website, and if you meet me in person. I really hope to attract the right people and repel the wrong people. I research my potential guests and collaborators to ensure that I'm not amplifying problematic messaging. And if I make a mistake, I do my best to correct it. So here's some 3 tips for amplifying diverse voices. First, find and listen to people who are new to you. So who are your friends and colleagues following that you're not following yet? Use the social media search bar to find some diverse accounts. Follow those that interest you and see who they can collaborate with and share with, and then follow those people. I also encourage you to listen to diverse podcasts. So the more you subscribe to, the more the platform will send to you. So when you're doing a podcast search, an easy way to do this is if people have their photos on the cover of their podcast, listen to some of people who don't necessarily look just like you. Second, I want you to engage and interact with all of your new follows on social media. Like, love, react, comment, and just be a genuine person. Be you. Be a friend. Make new friends, and it will be great. A third tip for amplifying diverse voices is that you want to like and comment on social media. That's a way to tell the algorithm that the content is good so that more people see it. So that's a strategy for helping to amplify those voices. You can also share that content, sharing it on your social media platform, but make sure you're sharing and not copying and pasting, because copying and pasting is stealing. Remember, we want to amplify that voice, not take the content and misrepresent it as our own. You can invite those people to be a guest on your podcast, on a video interview, on your blog, whatever you got. Just do the work first and make sure they're a good fit for your values. You can also use quotes from those diverse voices. Use quotes in your content and cite the source so that others can then look them up and get to know them too. Lastly, I encourage you to make it a policy to only speak at diverse events. Only speak on podcasts and video interviews that highlight diversity. So if somebody wants you to speak on their platform, ask them who else they expect to show up. Ask them what percentage of their speakers are BIPOC, which stands for Black, Indigenous, or people of color. Ask them these questions so that you can ensure that you are not just another white face showing up in a sea of whiteness, right? Make sure there is diversity in all of the places where you are showing up. If they really want you to speak, this may inspire them to seek out some more diverse voices as well. Okay, y'all. I know this podcast is full of recommendations for ensuring your marketing is just, and trying to remember all the things can be overwhelming. Luckily, you don't have to rely on memory alone. Before you post your next piece of content, be sure to download the Just Marketing Checklist so that you can ensure that everything is as accessible and inclusive as possible. You can download that resource at justmarketingchecklist.com. You may already know, but we've made Just Marketing accessible to you however you prefer to consume your content. You can subscribe and listen on your favorite podcast player, subscribe on our YouTube channel to watch the videos, or read the transcriptions on the blog and subscribe there as well. I would appreciate honest reviews wherever you are consuming this content. And of course, if you would share this resource with anyone who is or should be on a Just Marketing journey. Thank you so much for being with us again today. I appreciate you, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.